Why, hello there. Yes, I remember you from a little while back. Yes, you're the vampire with the bad sunburn. Yes, I remember. Well, it's really good to see you again, and it looks like that sunburn is healing up very, very nicely. Let me just take a little look here. Yes, and you've been using the medication that I prescribed to you. Wonderful. And let me look at your hands. Any itching or scratching? Oh, well, that's perfectly normal. When we come to the end of our healing, it tends to itch really, really badly. You know that it's working, and you're nearly healed when it does that. So that's a really good sign. Overall, I'm really, really pleased with your progress. You'll be fully healed in no time. Okay, so today we're not treating you for sunburn. We are doing your vampire physical exam. Yes, how exciting. Now, every newly made vampire within the first year or so of becoming a vampire has this test. Now, it's sort of similar to a human physical examination, but there's a couple of differences. First difference is that it's a lot shorter than a human physical. Vampires don't age, we don't get old, we don't get sick, we don't die, so there's really no reason to be checked so often, like on a yearly basis. So we tend to do these exams every 100 years or so. Now, there are some people who are a little bit of hypochondriacs, and they tend to come every year. But honestly, that is such a waste of time and a waste of resources. So unless you've got really, really good health insurance, every 100 years is just fine. So that's the first. The second is that instead of checking your vitals, so we will be doing a vital check or lack of vitals, we'll also be testing your resilience to anti-vampire artifacts or vampire deterrents. We test this so we can distinguish and categorize what level vampire you are. Depending on your maker, your resilience will be either higher or lower. And we can prescribe you a course of desensitization to a particular deterrent that you are specifically allergic to. For instance, we offer UV light therapy, like you know, and courses of little injections of like holy water, garlic, etc., just to build up your resilience to it, so you don't have to wait for age and wisdom to make you stronger. The marvels of modern science have allowed us to develop these practices, so you don't have to wait around 100, 200 years to build up tolerance to anti-vampire deterrents. We can do it from the comfort of the surgery. We'll also be testing your supernatural abilities, whether they are present, whether they are not. And again, every 100 years we test this because they develop naturally over time. For some people, they never develop. For others, they are there right from the word go. So, first things first, let's just put your details into my system here. This is your first vampire checkup. And you were made how long ago? Oh, I've got it on my system here. I can't believe it's that. Time goes so quickly, yet so slowly at the same time. Okay. So, the first test is to check that your heart has fully stopped beating. Now, this may sound a little bit strange of a test because obviously as vampires we are the undead, right? But there have been instances where a newly made vampire's heart is still beating. Now, we don't know why this happens, and it doesn't happen that often, maybe every 500 years or so. But what we have theorized is that the human element and the vampire element, the biological factions, go to war, and instead of the vampire overcoming the human biology, they become entwined and live in relative harmony. So this way it means that they're not a vampire, yet they're not a human. They are a strange hybrid of both. Now, of course, this brings a lot of perks and also a lot of disadvantages. And our scientists are, to this day, trying to understand why this happens. But I am sure that your heart has stopped beating, because, like I say, it's quite rare. Let me just dust off this stethoscope. It's not that often I have newly made vampires. It's getting rarer and rarer these days for vampires to be made. So I never use this. So let me just take a little listen here. Perfect. Silent as the grave. Wonderful. So that's a negative. Good. So now we move on to your eyes. But there is one test that we have to do for newly made vampires, and that is a light sensitivity test. Now, please don't be alarmed. The light that I'm using is specifically designed for newly made vampires in that it is the mildest form of UV that you can get. It has no effect on me because obviously I am hundreds of years old now. But for you, it may be quite uncomfortable at first. So if it gets too much, then please let me know. All I'll be doing is shining the light into your eyes, and then we'll do a test to see how long you can withstand the UV in your eyes, and this will provide us with a good baseline. Okay, so if you just look straight at me. Good. Wonderful. Good. Brilliant. Yes, have a little rub of your eyes there. It's quite unpleasant, I know. Alright, so now I'm going to shine the light in your eyes and hold it there and just start my timer to see how long you can stand it. Alright, ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, good. 11 seconds. That is a new record. Wow. That is amazing. Normally, newly made vampires only last about 3 to 4 seconds, so 11 seconds is amazing. But that's no surprise. Your maker was Victor Ravenswood, I see. So you have his blood running through your veins, and he is one of the strongest vampires we have in our society, so it's natural that you'll have a higher resilience to vampire deterrence because his blood is so noble. If you were made by a lower class vampire, then your resilience to these things would be a lot lower. So, eyes is done. Now we move on to ears. So you'll probably have noticed that you can hear so much more. You can hear things that are great distances away and things that are very, very small, like a mouse's heartbeat and the wings of a moth. Yes, it can be quite overwhelming at first, I must admit. All these sounds are coming at you from everywhere. Yes. But that's perfectly fine. You will get used to that over time. And again, we don't go deaf. We don't have ear infections. Apart from, some vampires who are pretty dirty. We don't really need to clean our ears either because we don't produce earwax. So the hearing test is quite defunct, but for nostalgic reasons we do offer a whisper test, and this is purely for nostalgic semantic reasons. So I'm going to whisper a word into your ear and you just let me know what you hear, okay? So I'll do it from very, very close up, and then I'll do it from further away, but you'll obviously be able to hear it, no problem. Are you ready? Blood. Victim. Torture. Captive. Bite. Very good. Now from a little bit further away, okay? Alright, that's very good. Like I say, pointless, but it's semantic. Okay, so teeth now. You'll notice that, yes, your lovely, beautiful fangs have grown in very, very nicely, but they are redundant because we are not allowed to bite victims anymore, as you are well aware. So really, apart from good dental hygiene, really there's not a lot that I need to look at. It does look like you have a little bit of crowding, but that is natural. Have you been to see the dentist? Alright, well, I would definitely recommend you brushing at least once a day. You'll find that blood, if not washed and brushed away properly, gets stuck in the teeth and causes very, very bad smells. And you will know the vampires who don't brush their teeth because their breath absolutely stinks, especially the ones that are quite partial to the garlic infused blood or the nicotine infused blood, the gross people. So please do brush away the blood after every meal. Your friends and colleagues will thank you for it. And the same goes for your jaw as well. Have you noticed that your jaw can extend a lot wider than what it used to? Yes, it's about 20% actually. And this was in the times where we could bite our victims. We could actually bite the whole circumference of the neck and actually wrap our jaws all the way from side to side. But that's totally out the question now, so those jaw muscles are pretty pointless. Now, because we don't use those jaw muscles anymore, they may become quite stiff and quite uncomfortable, so there are a couple of jaw exercises that you can do. You can look them up on the Vampire World Web and see about doing some of those. I would highly recommend it because I have a lot of vampires come in with lockjaw, so you need to be careful of that. So I have briefed about lockjaw dangers. So yes, I'd recommend you get on that right away. So you'll notice that you're a lot stronger than normal. Yes, you can run further, jump higher, lift very, very, very heavy objects. Perfect. So I just need to ask you to squeeze my hand as much as you can. This is, again, a very superficial test, but it gives us a nice baseline. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, you can let go now. Yes, okay, I would say you're about a 10. That's very, very strong. I mean, I'm pretty strong, but not as strong as that. And for a newly made vampire, wow, okay. Alright. So now we come on to the big tests, the vampire deterrent tests. Now, first of all, let's start you out with some holy water. Let me pop on some gloves. Oh, again, don't worry, this holy water has been formulated for newly made vampires, so it's very, very mild. Now, one of my weaknesses as a vampire is holy water, unfortunately. And I've been having a course of desensitization for this for a few years now, but it's not working as great as I hoped. My maker was also allergic to holy water, so hence the precautions. And since I do this on a daily basis, and I'm exposed to it all the time, I don't want to give myself a nasty burn. So, all I need you to do is hold out your hands, just like that. And I'm going to do one pump first of all, and then measure the reaction time to it by timing it. So you ready? Just one pump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so you haven't reacted. Normally within the first, again, 3 to 4 seconds, that should have provoked a reaction. Now you have had no reaction. Does it tingle or nothing? Okay, well, let's do one more and see if it's not a fluke. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still no reaction. Okay, let me get... I do have one here somewhere. Is this the one? Okay. Alright. I have a strength 5. So that was 1, and they go up to 10. So this is a strength 5, okay? So we're going to try this again. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're feeling something? 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's 8 seconds and you're feeling a redness. Okay, fine. So we're on strength 5 holy water. So the strength, so number 1, it's been blessed by a local vicar. Strength 5 is like archbishop, that sort of thing, and strength 10 is the Pope himself. So that's pretty strong out of 5. So strength 5, oh wait, so that's 8 seconds with no reaction to strength 1. Okay, brilliant. Next, we have a tincture of garlic, and this is actually taken orally. And this is low-dose garlic in water, just plain water, not holy water, that would just be too much. And all you have to do is take a little drop of this on your tongue. So you just hold out your tongue there. Okay. And when it becomes spicy, just let me know, like hot, as in like spice hot. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now? Okay. So it looks to me like garlic is your weakness. So garlic test, 5 seconds. Yes, you can have a drink of water, that's fine. But don't... yes, yeah. I should have said, don't swallow the water. Yes, you should have just spat it out. Okay, that's fine, that's my bad. Nothing will happen, you might just feel a little bit sick. That's fine. I would recommend just having a meal as soon as possible once the test is done. Sorry about that, I should have said. We have the water just to rinse and spit. Yeah, it's okay, you'll get used to it. You're still quite human after all. Okay, so garlic, 5 seconds. Good, I didn't have to get out the pungent stuff. So, wonderful. Can I just double check that you don't have a reflection anymore? Perfect. You can't look at yourself in the mirror. Oh, I know. I still miss that, to be honest. There are very special cameras that you can get that can photograph you to a certain extent, but really they're very, very expensive what they are, and they don't always work. Okay. Fine. We've done the light test. So the last test, let's take these gloves off now, is to check you for any special abilities, any special powers. So normally you'll find these out as you go along, but I'll be asking you a couple of specific questions just to determine if they're present or not. Okay, so the first test is telepathy. So can you tell me, within a little, what I am thinking? I'm going to just be saying a sentence in my head, and you just have to repeat back within a little what I'm saying, okay? No, that's not what I said. How did you know that? Your telepathy powers are unbelievable. I haven't told anyone that, ever. Okay, I'm just going to put a special note on here just to say, I may need to test you in a year's time for that, actually, because that's very impressive. Telepathy off the chart. Okay. It looks to me like that's your super vampire strength. Okay. So, other questions? Have you found yourself levitating both consciously or unconsciously? Does your skin sometimes turn transparent? No. Can you make people fall asleep by just looking at them or speaking to them? Speaking, okay. Could you do this in your human life? Okay. Can you get people to do what you want them to do against their will? No? Okay. Do you often find you have a strange sensation to live within a colony of bats? Okay. do you or have you noticed extra hair growing on your body? No? Do you notice that your skin sparkles in sunlight? No, I'm only joking. We don't have any sparkly vampires here. Unless they have some morbid fascination with glitter. But, yeah, no sparkly vampires. And the last question, can you move objects with just your thoughts, both consciously and unconsciously? Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of your examination. I think that you are a very, very strong vampire. Your telepathy skills are I have never seen such strength of telepathy before. It's unbelievable. I would like to see you again in a year to monitor this. I think you might be very gifted and useful to us in our community, but hopefully, they continue to develop. And like I say, if you notice you have got other specific powers, then we will test those next year as well. Just keep a log of them. Holy water, that was really, really good. I would actually suggest you still coming in for desensitization for that. Although you're at a level 5 already, it would be good to get you to a level 10 whilst you're still so young, and then you don't have to worry about resilience to that, and you can just concentrate on becoming the best vampire you can be. Okay? So holy water, desensitization, and then garlic. Do the same. We alternate those, so every other year. So one is holy water, then garlic, holy water, garlic, and so on and so forth. And also the UV light therapy, but this can be done in between those two. This is a different part of the biological makeup of vampires, and it's hard to explain without going to medical school. UV light therapy. Okay, so you'll get those through in the post, and yeah, I hope you continue enjoying life as a vampire. I hear you've got a new job at the blood bank. Congratulations, you're going to love working there, and you might see me around from time to time. I'm sometimes the doctor on duty for some of the humans that get sick and die. I'm there to just, help them on their way. So it's been very nice to see you again, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Okay, take care.